Creators of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Dynamite Grand Slam. First things first, we are in New York. I don't think there was an empty seat in the house, and with all the camera angles that they were giving us tonight, making me dizzy as hell. They wanted everyone to know, especially the naysayers, to know that there was an empty seat up in there in New York. Now, the other thing that I noticed was how close the stage was to the damn ring. It was so close where it was just like you can take like a little leap from the stage to the damn ring, and I'm just like, oh, that is very close. But that's a good thing because usually they have that elevated ramp where it's just like, that's a good thing we don't have that because that's the ramp that Adam Cole jumped off of and broke that fragile ankles of his. So I appreciate that. First match, we have Nigel coming out. Nigel makes it to the ring. He looks great. He looks good. He looks real good, if you ask me. And Danielson music hits. We're waiting. We're still waiting. Nothing happens. And Nigel's like, you know what? Ref, doesn't look like he's coming. The American Coward is probably at home chilling and not coming out. Count to 10 refs so that I can win. And while we're there, since his bitch ass didn't come out, let's just, take that title away from him. So then here comes a final countdown playing, and then Danielson comes out. I don't know what it is. Once again, I'm a sucker for Danielson's gear with the dragon scales. It gets me every time, and I've told you guys since he's been champion, his dragon scales have been gold. So I think that's just a cute touch. I just love it. I love it. It's so cute. Now, how did the match go? It was not what I dreamt of. They've been, putting a story out there after what happened on Collision with Tony Schiavone getting involved in that whole promo. Man, they just ruined it. All I knew was that, okay, I want to see this match and they're going to tear it up. To be honest with you, right from the bat, all of a sudden Danielson, his wrist is just feeling some type of way, and almost everything that he's doing, he's struggling to do because his wrist is fucked up. And I'm just like, where the fuck is this coming from already so early in the match? That was a huge thing throughout the whole motherfucking thing. And Nigel's doing his thing. Like, he really looks comfortable in the ring. And I know this whole thing with him and Danielson, has been going on forever. But I would hope that we will see Nigel also in matches with other people as well. I would love to see that. Tony Khan, Zack Sabre Jr., find out if he's busy or not. Please, let's make that happen. It didn't give me what I wanted, especially because of that little injury that we were just working on that whole match with Danielson. But I did like both of these guys' performance. For me, my eyes were more on Nigel throughout this whole thing. And I also felt like with them having this beef, this forever beef, and since Nigel has walked through the damn doors of AEW, he's been talking shit about Danielson. Why didn't Danielson tear his ass up? Like, why didn't Danielson just take his, go to another frame of mind and just think of everything that Nigel has done and literally just unleash hell up in there for Nigel? And it just didn't go there for me. That makes me wonder if we'll see something between the two of them in the future. If we do, put on a pay-per-view and let's make this shit right. It just didn't give me what I was hoping for. Danielson takes the win with a label lock. But I hope the whole locker room is on notice because Nigel McGuinness looked like he's ready to go for a little run here. He looks absolutely great. Now, Nigel obviously not happy about taking the L here. And all of a sudden, it's our stepdaddy. Our stepdaddy music comes out. He comes out. He looks so good. Our stepdaddy is in shape, such great shape. He had his little money in the clipboard contract. And he opens it up, take out the pen, and he's about to sign the contract before he's going to cash in on our American Dragon. And then here comes Kip Sapien creeping up behind our stepdaddy and grab the pens and runs. Now, he ends up running away to the back. Christian follows like a second or two after, and then while he's running to the back, right directly behind the stage, like they didn't even move behind the curtain, it's Pac and Claudio standing there, and they all looking at each other, and then Christian's like, oh well, I don't want that smoke, let me just go to the back. He makes it to the back, and then there's Claudio and our boy Pac, and they don't do anything. I thought they was going to come out and probably attack the American Dragon, but they don't. Good. We go to commercial, and after this, we have the FTW title on the line. Hook versus the Messiah of the Backbreaker, Roderick Strong. He comes out with the Kingdom, and I'm just like, all right, FTW, man, so let's see what happens. Hopefully, Roderick takes this. The match wasn't all that. The chemistry, I felt like wasn't there. And I'm going to say this, Hook, baby, this is no shade, okay? He's not that great. He isn't. When he's in the ring with more experienced wrestlers, you can see the flaws in Hook. And it's not to say that no wrestler has flaws. It's just that you can see that we need to go back and figure out what it is that we can do for Hook. The match, not all that for me. We do have the Kingdom that get involved and, help bring out the weapons and stuff. And all that stuff is okay. It's FTW rules, basically hardcore match. All that stuff is okay. But for our boy, Roderick Strong, of all people, to tap to Hook in a red rum, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was very upset about it. And then they made up for it. Oh, first of all, Matt Taven took off his shirt during the match. Lord have mercy. Lord, I didn't even know he was like that. Anyway, after this, Tony Schiavone's waiting with the microphone for Hook. And I'm like, the microphone for Hook? What the fuck Hook gonna say that we gonna want to hear? And then he says something we actually do want to hear. Long story short, they retired that motherfucking title for once. FTW title has been retired. He gave the title back to his daddy. His daddy is crying, and I'm just like, Taz, if you're gonna be crying, you can get off commentary. You can go to the back. I don't want to hear no crying in my ears. Hook. I'm sorry to say this. The FTW title has been Hook's identity this entire motherfucking time. So what do you do with him now? I have no clue. I know a suggestion for you, Hook, if you're watching, which you probably ain't, but you should. Go to the Indies. Go with Nick Wayne and go to the Indies and wrestle all these up and coming wrestlers. Get that experience so that you can look better on TV. Like, that would really help Hook if he were to do that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but either way, the title is gone. So Roderick losing don't really bother me at this point. Hook, you need a new identity. You need a whole new fucking everything, and a haircut too. Lord have mercy. Match of the night. Oh my God. The tag titles were on the line, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be the main event. William Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher teaming up to go against the Young Bucks, and Uncle Don is on commentary with them shoes again. And I have to say, this match kept me on the edge of my motherfucking seat. Like, it is insane to see the energy. And this is what I'm saying. The Young Bucks, I don't give two fucks about them. But finally, we saw something in them. It took Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, the real Young Bucks, Kyle Fletcher and William, to really bring out something from the Young Bucks that I feel like we haven't seen in a long time. The Young Bucks, I don't care for them, but they're really great wrestlers. But I feel like we have gotten nothing from this little run that they having with these tag titles, hogging them titles. And tonight was just a damn near excellent match. When I tell you, they were emotionally, so many near falls here. And it was just like, okay, I've seen like a million pins here, but every single one of them felt so close. Like, you just, oh man, the way like they had my emotions all over the place. I was stressed out watching this match, but in a good way, in a really good way, very entertained. And I'm just like, okay, seeing something like this, it makes you just think like, all right, the Young Bucks, they're capable of doing a lot more than what we see them do. And something like this gives me somewhat of a glimmer of hope for the tag division. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like half of those near falls, I was just like, well, William and Kyle got this, but the Young Bucks end up taking the win with the EVP trigger on my boy Kyle Fletcher. And I knew it was going to be Kyle. I knew it was going to be Kyle because they weren't going to sacrifice William like that. I knew it. Uncle Don did get involved, and he gave Kyle Fletcher a screwdriver, and Kyle was ready to use it. William's the one who took it out of Kyle's hand and gave it to the referee. Referee was trying to put it away, God knows where, like in the middle of the air or something, trying to buy time so that he wouldn't see when the Young Bucks was hitting William and Kyle with the titles. And then he finally got a chance to turn around, and boom. EVP trigger to Kyle Fletcher and the Young Bucks retain. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, everybody looks disappointed. Kyle, William, Uncle Don, they all look disappointed in each other. And whatever the situation is, Kyle Fletcher, you can whoop Will Ospreay's ass and take that title off of him. Kyle Fletcher been putting in work, and I appreciate it. Uncle Don, you need some new shoes. After this, Renee Paquette back there with the conglomeration. They got new shirts, and they just invited Rocky Romero into the fucking group. Oh my God, Rocky Romero don't deserve this. Why is he in this group? I have no clue. Now, what you call it? Prince Nana comes out, Shivani over there, and Shivani is reminding everything about all the L's that our boy Swerve been taking, and then Prince Nana just looking so annoyed. It's like, you have to remind us about the house. You have to remind us about him losing the title and losing to Hangman. All these things that we don't want to remember right now, Shivani. And while he's talking, he's interrupted by MVP, and I couldn't even believe it. I was just like, wait a minute, who the hell is that coming out here? He actually came out there. He introduced himself, and then he goes on to say that Swerve is the most dangerous man in AEW, and when he gets better, he'll be waiting. He even gave a card to Prince Nana to give to Swerve so that he can give him a cow when he's ready. Basically saying that Prince Nana ain't done a damn thing for Swerve, and that Swerve can use better representation in terms of a manager. And I thought that was very interesting. Now, I kept waiting because I was just like, wait a minute, is Prince Nana going to get attacked or something? But nothing happened. He just gives him the card, and we move on. Very interesting. I don't know where this is going, but I have to say I have enjoyed Swerve and Prince Nana together. Something about these two, I feel like they just work, and a lot of people like them together. If you were to move on to working with MVP or even, Bobby Lashley and Shelton and them would also come, that would be interesting. But I just don't feel like Swerve is a guy to be in a group. No matter where they're going with this, the whole thing of Swerve being in a group, I don't think works for him. To have people that he can count on if something go down, sure. But we'll see what ends up happening with this. I'm not ready to have Prince Nana and Swerve split. All right, before we had the women's title on the line, they show Scapegoat driving on whatever bridge he was driving. I don't know. He wasn't going to drive like he was driving the other day in Ohio or wherever the hell they were at, Las Vegas. God knows, I don't know. In New York, we shut that shit down. You're not going to go be driving around like a madman. There's already enough crazy people on the street. He's going to be having a open challenge for Collision, which was also taped after Grand Slam tonight for Dynamite. Now, we have the women's title on the line, Yuka Sakazaki versus our girl, Mariah May. I'm bored. It's just what it is. Mariah, she's talented. Yuka, she's talented. Yuka, it didn't really feel like there was a build to this anyway. And does everything need a build? Not really. But when Yuka had been gone for months for being injured with a broken leg and just come after 2 matches already on Grand Slam for a title shot, like, people just want to see a little bit more to feel invested in what they're watching. The crowd was dead. This was, after that tag match, that was a tough act to follow. And honestly, I just wasn't into it myself. Mariah May, once again, taking the win with a Storm Zero, and I'm fucking over it. I don't know what we're going to do here. Now, we have the main event. We do have Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. Winner becomes the AEW World Championship #1 contender. Obviously, Darby Allin has already won that, a month ago or whatnot, fair and square. Jon Moxley tried to bully him into taking his little title shot. So we end up having this match. Speaking of match, I don't know if I would call it that because Darby Allin was just being thrown all over the place. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things where you watch it and it's hard to watch, but then you're like, this is what Darby like. This is his thing, his sexual fetish or some shit of people just throwing him around and manhandling him. He's so into his element. So it's kind of hard to feel bad for him, but you do feel bad for him at the same time. Darby is just not looking good here at all, but he's still just scratching and clawing and making his way through. Jon Moxley is not giving a fuck. Marina Shafir is ringside and she's getting involved whenever she feels like it. And honestly, I'm just like, well, what's the rules here for this match? Is there any rules? Apparently not. Long story short, I really felt like the tag title match would have been a better way to close off the show, but I understand what's at stake here seemed to have been, I guess, more important. So Darby Allin ends up taking the L, a big L at that. I mean, blood and damn near guts was coming out and all that stuff from Darby. It was just not pretty. But if anything, Darby probably enjoyed this. Now, after the match, though, while Moxley is, I wouldn't say celebrating, but he's obviously happy he won. Here comes somebody running out with a hoodie, and I'm just like, what the hell is that? And that person has a tie in their hand. Put it around Moxley's neck, and it's our boy, the American Dragon, Danielson. He's choking him out. He even wraps up the tie again and chokes him out. And I'm just like, I know what this is about. This is definitely, going back to the moment to where Danielson had choked out Justin Roberts like many years ago with that whole Nexus fiasco. That was a long time ago. But while that's happening, it don't last too long because Marina Shafir is a ride or die. So she went over there and made sure that she could try to get Danielson off. So she's choking him out at the same time that he's choking out Moxley. Now, here comes Private Party and Commander and them. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't even notice who they were. It took a minute before I was just like, oh, it's Private Party and Commander. And Alex Abrahantes, for whatever reason, is out there. But then Pac and Claudio come out too. And they put the pause on everybody. But then they realize the number game ain't really adding up. We're just going to have to retreat. They end up going through the crowd and end up leaving. And then Danielson says, oh, you know what, Wrestle Dream's going to be me and you. I'm going to kick your fucking ass. Whatever the hell he said, dropping F-bombs or whatever. The Dragon is just so cool. That's my boy. Matter of fact, those are all my boys. I don't like to see my boys fighting like this. This is stressful for me, guys. This is very stressful to see BCC in shambles like this. But, this is wrestling. Things happen. It is what it is. For a Grand Slam, I felt like overall, mostly disappointing. Not living up to the name of Grand Slam. I mean, the card looked great, but what we ended up getting was just meh to me. Nigel and Danielson, we gotta run it back. We gotta do it right. I don't know if it's gonna happen on TV or if it's just gonna be in my living room so that it could be done just for me. We gotta do it again. The tag team match, absolutely just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't like to say nice things about the Young Bucks, but they did great. William and Kyle did a great job as well. I know next week is William versus Ricochet for the international title for the 5th anniversary of Dynamite. Tony Khan, don't disappoint me next week. It's I don't know. We still have Collision Grand Slam as well. Don't know where that's going. But we'll see. If it's going at the rate that it's going, we will also be disappointed on Saturday as well. But guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will not be doing a watch along for Ring of Honor tomorrow. I will have a guest with me named Rhonda. We're going to be talking about the Mr. McMahon documentary, whatever you want to call that. And we'll be discussing that. But I will still be doing a Ring of Honor review as well. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.